So the next definition is called continuous weld, and let's talk about what that is. So when you weld a frame is generally what that's referring to, or even a door edge. There was a movement championed by Weld with their laser edge welding, where they had brought in a machine that was continuously welding the edge of their doors, and a continuously welded door edge does indeed serve to be a much stronger type of door construction. It didn't end up working out long term for them. I don't know if it's because they tried to champion welding the edge of doors using a laser welder, but they weren't in business for more than a couple of years after that. Continuously welded generally refers to frames. So when you set up a frame and you're going to weld it, meaning when you ship the frame to the job, it's not going to be in three pieces. It will be set up. You will have the two jambs and the header, and you will bang all that together and bend the tabs over. You'll set it up, and then you'll weld it. You can just tack weld that in the throat of the frame just to make sure that the pieces stay together. And usually the tabs and slots would be an area where you would weld it. The other way to weld it would be continuously welding the face of the frame where the miter is. That would be a continuous weld on a frame. A third option would be what would be called full depth weld. Saw cut and full depth weld. So we've got a tack weld, we've got a continuous weld, and then we've got a full depth weld. A full depth weld is where you're going to generally take stick material and you'll cut it on a cold saw, miter it, whatever. You'll take your two pieces and bring them together. You're going to weld not only the outside miter, but you're going to go in the throat of the frame and continuously weld that through the depth. The back of the returns, the back of the face, the back of the rabbet, the back of the stop face, the soffit, the stop face, and all the way back around. So continuously welded is an important term to use because you're saying, this is exactly what I expect to see. A continuously welded door edge, more commonly a frame. And you're differentiating that by other possible interpretations, tack welding it. So I can set up a frame and just tack weld it on the inside, and it'll stay together. You'll send it out to the job, and your customer will say, why do I see the miters? I don't want to see the miters between the header and the jambs. Continuously welding infers that you're going to weld that miter. You're going to tack weld the back of it before you continuously weld it. You'll have the frame clamped up and square. You'll continuously weld the face. You'll grind the face. You'll sand the face, and then you'll prime the face. And you always want to let that face cool a little bit before you put paint on it, because the paint will bubble, and certainly breathing in all fumes in a shop is not healthy whatsoever, and patently unhealthy, but especially paint that's being boiled. So one thing that I've done in the past, I'll have a damp rag close by and I'll dab the face of the frame just to bring the temperature down a little bit, to let it cool a little bit faster. There's no residual moisture that's on there, and then hit it with primer and you're off to the races. Let's switch to the screen view and let's take a closer look at the definition, and then we'll pull up a price list and we'll look at it there as well. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Here's the definition. Continuously welded, see welded. Let's do that. Let's take a look at welded. Okay. Weld or welding. A process for joining of metal parts with the necessary heat being provided by an electric arc struck between an electrode and the metal, or between two electrodes. So in oxyacetylene welding, or in what's arc welding, or what some people refer to as stick welding, the stick or the item that you place in one of your two welding leads, you have a ground clamp and then your lead, that is what carries both the filler material and a catalyst, so to speak. something that will foster or permit the process of welding happening. So through electricity, you're bringing a tremendous amount of heat so as to liquefy the filler material that you're bringing and the base material. And it's a balance and dance between the proper penetration. Between two electrodes refers to spot welding, and that's very common when you're putting two pieces together, such as a hinge reinforcement in the back of a jam. MIG welding is extremely common in our industry, where you have a gas, or you can have it as gasless. If you have a gasless operation, which is very typical, you'll have a flux core. And flux was the word I was trying to think of earlier, not catalyst, flux. The flux is what creates the proper circumstances and environment for welding to occur. So a flux core wire, you wouldn't use gas. In a gas system, you would have just kind of bare wire, and the gas itself is the flux. So this is great. So continuous weld, a weld having no gaps or spaces over its entire length. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. This is a continuous weld, what we were talking about earlier, right along the face. A door weld continuously. A door having all joints on its vertical edge continuously welded and a finished smooth appearance. Now, I find that manufacturers don't continuously run a weld down the edge of the door. They'll spot weld it going down. They'll grind those down. They'll use Bondo and fill it and then paint it. And the logic is, if you were to try to continuously weld the edge of a door with your MIG welder, you for sure are going to warp that door. Guaranteed. At least in my experience. So in a modern factory, I don't know how they would continuously weld your door without warping it, because you're introducing maybe 1800 degree Fahrenheit, and that is absolutely going to pull the skin, pull the steel. So more discussion. If you really want to know whether or not a door is continuously welded, you'll need to have conversation with your manufacturer. But the primary example is frame welded continuously, also called full or fully welded and or full profile welded. That's where you not only weld the face, but again, you're going to weld the backside of it as well. And what they're showing you here is where you're going to saw cut your material, or you're going to punch the stop so that the header can sit on top of the stop area. The problem with this is the face is going to run all the way to the top here, and you'll have to finish off the top of that with a return, a welded in return. If you're doing work in production where you're working a lot with punching for hinge and strike preps, and you are using stick material, having a cold saw that can miter is going to be what you'd want. And a cold saw is a very common, very helpful cold saw. Yeah. So when it comes to a cold saw, yeah, this would be fun. Let's not get too crazy in terms of cost. Bestseller, Dake Cut 250 manual cold saw. There it is. So what you want to be really sure about a cold saw is, obviously, will it miter? Because you can just use an abrasive wheel to cut something at 90 degree. Rotate 45 degrees, right and left of center for miter cuts. That checks that box. The issue, though, is it large enough to cut your jam depth? Because you have to, it's not going to compound, it's only going to miter. So, mitering range, 45 degrees left and right. Round capacity, 1.25 inch. Tube capacity, so this is way too small. Way too small for cutting hollow metal. It doesn't have the capacity. Let's look at something a little more expensive. You can also do it with a vertical bandsaw. I've cut it as well, but I would be highly suspect of it actually cutting straight enough. So let's take a look at this more expensive cold saw. Rectangular tube capacity goes up to 6 inch. This can miter, this will give you the mitering. Still way too small at 45 degree. Let's see if we can sort by highest price. Oh yeah. Not looking for anything automatic. Let's look at this. Yeah, rectangular tube, 4x6. This $50,000 tool will give you the size cutting that you need. But in this very simple explanation, or this simple dive into what we're working on, I've only pulled up one website that I happen to be familiar with. So if you were going to saw cut, that's what you're looking for. Do you have the capacity to cut it at a miter? And this would do typical 5 3/4. Would you want to do only 5 3/4? Possibly. Cutting 8 3/4 on a miter is probably going to be pretty difficult in a cold saw because you're standing it up as well. So you'll saw cut that, you'll fully weld the back of all of it, and you'll touch it, you'll do the face as well, and that's very commonly seen as a requirement in specification. Full depth, continuously full depth welded. Yeah, it's understood it's continuous if you're full depth welding, but that's where you're getting in the entire back throat size of the frame. So let's take a look at the Seco catalog and see what they call this in the price list. Okay, so here's the price book, and I like to look at this because it's going to list what the options are when it comes to a frame or a door when it comes to welding. So let's just search for the word weld. Yeah. Okay, so we're looking at a Regent honeycomb door, probably not the door that you would think of welding the edge on. Edges welded, seamless edges, edges welded. 18 or 16 gauge handed doors. They probably won't try to weld the edge of a 20 gauge because the steel's too thin. Or you cannot weld it and just fill the edges, and that's going to be Bondo. So there's an example of welding. Seamless edges. Yeah, more doors. I want to get to a frame reference. Here we go. Corner welding at the plant. V2, V3, V5. Okay, so corner welding at the plant. These are masonry frame extras. Full face weld, 18, 16, 14 gauge only. That is going to be where they weld the face. They're doing just the miter on the outside. They're not doing anything to the backside of the frame. Full face and web weld. The web of the frame they're referring to is the backside. Full face and web welded. What I don't know is what's the difference between V3 and V5. V5 could be for a 12 gauge frame. I don't know if it is or not. There it is actually. So V5, 12 gauge frame, add to 12 gauge. Saw type cut V5 corner welded. Per corner, $120. Be really mindful if you're doing borrowed light work and you've got 12 corners, it's $120 each intersection. And what that means is you're doing a borrowed light. There's a borrowed light, but now let's just pretend all of those are equal, if you will, please. That's a corner right there. Okay. So that's a corner. The issue is this might be a different price, where you've got basically a T intersection. This cross could be a different price as well. So be mindful when you're pricing stuff up that you'll want to be sure of how you're collecting charges for that. You don't want to call something the wrong side. And yeah, there we go. Yep. Intersection. V8 up to 3 inch. V9 over 3 inch. Different prices here. Corner, frame corner, and then intersection. Let's see what else they show us. Welding charges at intersections are for cutting, joining, and welding both faces at only one end of the frame section. Welding both ends of a frame count as 2 separate weld joints. Yep, if you're doing a 3-sided frame, you're going to want 2 V2s, if that's what you're doing. Let's see what else. Corner welding per frame, okay. Welded sill anchors, yeah. Full face and rabbet weld, soffit not welded. Okay, so here's a variant. You're going to weld the face and you're going to weld the rabbet, but you're not going to weld the soffit. And you're going to weld the face. You're going to weld here and here, but you're not going to weld the soffit. That is new to me. I've not seen that as an option. So continuously welded is more than just a definition of a weld that is without any breaks or stops. And then we talked about how that type of definition is compared against other possible ways a frame could be welded. We then dove deeper into a common manufacturer's price list and even saw even further derivatives of welding stuff. Let's move on to the next definition. We'll move on to contra swing frame. I've not heard of that term, but that's not double egress. Let's talk about it. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.